Hey, this is Mushfiq Sarkar from LaGrandeMarketing.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to create PPC strategies for your law firm that are effective. So right now, 87% of law firms have websites, and the best way, quickest way to generate leads is through PPC advertising. In this video, I'm going to talk about the basics of PPC so you have an understanding, the different strategies, and the optimizations you can do as a law firm. Who's LaGrande Marketing? So LaGrande Marketing is a full suite 360-degree digital marketing agency for law firms. We do everything from SEO, PPC, newsletters, social media, print media, video marketing, etc., just for your law firm. And in this video, I'm going to cover the PPC aspects of it. And at the end, I have an offer for you. We will do a free audit of your existing PPC campaigns. Or if you're new, we'll put together a sample PPC strategy so you can see the potential impact that PPC can bring your law firm. Let's get started. So what is PPC? Why do you need it? PPC is a pay-per-click model. It's through Google Ads mostly. Sometimes other platforms are LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. And so you get to advertise in these platforms, and the visitors, the end clients, potential clients, click on your ads to come to your website or take an action, right? So you have to pay to play. That's how I like to put PPC. It's pay to play approach. Other competitors of yours are also doing PPC. So it's a real life auction that Google or the platforms are running. Essentially, this indicate who is going to be at the top, and depending on your budget and your bidding structure that you have set up. It's a pretty critical. That's why I recommend an agency to be hired by the law firm to manage this process. But it can obviously be done by yourself, but it does require years of expertise and intuition that we've built up. So number two, we get to target a specific type of client, right? People are searching for these keywords. For example, let's say estate planning lawyer in San Francisco, right? We can go after that exact keyword and its variations as long as the law firm is willing to pay for the whatever the cost is for that keyword, right? We can target specific keywords, and we can get individuals who are searching for that keyword at that very instant. That's what we call the warmest of leads, right? Because that person, that visitor, is actually looking for that information then and there, and you are the law firm that shows up at the top. Immediate visibility. So this is something that's really important. Within setting up a PPC strategy, you can start showing up in the top results within a few days to maximum a week after the optimizations have been done and the strategy is in place. So it's pretty much immediate visibility. Again, it's pay to play. You are paying to be at the top, therefore you get to be there quicker, right? So another thing is measurable results. The platforms have set up proper tracking. We also at LaGrande Marketing set up phone number tracking so we can know exactly where the leads are coming from. We track on your website to know if traffic is coming from Google Ads, what actions they're taking. But there's a lot of data analysis that can be done to really understand how your dollar is being spent. So what is SEO? What is PPC? This is a common thing because they all, in the Google's world, google.com, PPC and SEO kind of sit side by side. So what is it, right? So PPC, it's fast results, immediate visibility, but it can be expensive, right? Depending on what topics, practice areas you're going after. For example, personal injury, very expensive. But things like estate planning, maybe less expensive, but still relatively expensive compared to any other industry. But the benefit is, if you need leads, you can get leads through PPC if you're willing to pay. SEO, it's a long-term game with SEO, right? You over time build the organic presence in Google through content marketing, through optimization of your website, and then you start showing up for these keywords in Google. It's a slower process when it begins, when you get started, but over time, this SEO, it essentially is like a snowball. It slowly builds over time, and then you start to get those rankings. So at LaGrande Marketing, we're a full suite digital marketing agency, so we do both. If a client comes to us and says, I have budget for PPC, we are simultaneously doing SEO because we're a full service agency. And so oftentimes the SEO takes time to kick in, but the PPC is immediate so they can get business in the door quickly. And over time, when the SEO kicks in, we can adjust the PPC budget so that they're not spending as much, and then they start utilizing the organic traffic. But oftentimes we've seen that when the SEO kicks in, they're getting double the leads because they're getting PPC leads and they're getting SEO leads. So they don't ever stop the PPC because as long as it's profitable, it makes sense. So the first thing you need to do is define your goals. The 3 steps that we do is lead generation. So we try to capture the leads. So through PPC, people are coming to your website. You're paying for that click, that visit, and then they're going to take an action on your website. Either they're going to go to a different competitor because they didn't like your website. But our goal is to essentially capture that lead through somebody making a phone call from the number they saw on your website, or to fill out the contact form to reach out to your team. So that's the goal here. Second is the website traffic. The goal is to increase visibility by bringing more traffic to your website. And that's in turn going to get you more visibility in the market. People are going to know more about you. If you're in a small city, your PPC can actually make you well known because you're showing up everywhere in the search results, right? But lastly, our goal with both bringing website, collecting the leads is to maximize the return on investment. We track the cost per lead. We can tell you exactly how much the average cost per lead was for over X days. And then we track that against how much revenue you're generating from these leads. And we can essentially figure out what your return on ad spend is, which is extremely critical to understand. So the next thing we'd like to do when we get started is identify your target audience. Which location are you trying to target? Is it a specific city? Is it multiple cities? Is it the entire state? That's really important because the more granular we can get, the more accurate your lead flow will be. Then is search intent, right? Are we going after important keywords like estate planning lawyer in San Francisco? That's a very specific keyword. Or is it more generic, like informational content, like what is an estate planning lawyer? Things like that. We really like to focus on the first, which is specific keywords like estate planning lawyer in San Francisco, because those are going to bring you the best leads. Then demographics. What's the age group? If it's estate planning, it's probably in the higher end, 35 plus. If it's divorce, it can be pretty much any age group above 20s to at the elder stages. What's the income level? What's the gender? We can kind of fine tune some of these things within the Google Ads depending on your persona of a client. Then we need to allocate the advertising budget, right? So this is important. So you have to have a budget as a law firm towards PPC. Now, one of the things that it really depends on the location you're in, the competition, and the practice areas. That's extremely important. If you're in New York City in personal injury, you need a significant budget. But if you're in Midwest state, small city, going after estate planning, you may not need such a high budget. The goal is to start slow and increase gradually over time. We really recommend for small firms at least $1,000 a month to just try, right? But if it's personal injury, we don't recommend even trying PPC at $1,000 a month. It's more other practice areas. Which platform? Now that's important, right? Google Ads has search, display ads, local service ads. We then have Facebook ads where you can target demographics and specific groups and pages. Then we have LinkedIn ads. We can do professional targeting of specific individuals that have specific interests. So it's important to understand the right advertising platform. Mostly 90% of our clients are focused on Google Ads, and then Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads are just extras that they want to do. But Google Ads is the cornerstone because this is where people are searching for specific expert lawyers that they want to hire. So the next thing is we do keyword research, right? Understanding which keywords we're going to go after. Tools you can use to do that is Google Keyword Planner, third-party tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs. Then you need to understand what kind of keyword type is it. Is it going to be branded? Are you going after your own branded name? Are you going after specific practice areas like estate planning lawyer in San Francisco? Or is it location based? Or is it long tail like informational keywords? Again, this is all part of the strategy that your PPC firm should put together. Then it's also, you have to match the keywords to the intent. So branded keywords are essentially saying that if somebody types in XYZ law firm, you want to show up at the top, right? Your own firm, your own firm's name, you want to show up at the top. That's pretty common sense, right? But then if somebody does location-based practice areas, it's like estate planning lawyer in San Francisco. The intent of that user is to find a estate planning lawyer today. So you want to show up at the top as well for those because that's very important. Then it's long tail, like what is an estate planning lawyer, or what are the rules for estate planning lawyers in California? Right. So that's the intent of that, is more informational. It's the user is just trying to find information. They may not be ready to hire yet. So the intent is really important. The next thing is analyzing your competition. Who are the other firms bidding on similar keywords? What kind of advertising copy are they putting together? What kind of headlines, descriptions, call to actions are they using? What kind of landing pages are they driving traffic to? What's the layout? What's the content? What are the different call to actions that are available on that page? And what kind of keyword strategies are they going after? Are they doing broad match, phrase match, exact match, different types like that? So when we do an analysis, we're looking at the competition to find essentially what they are doing and seeing if we can replicate that, but also finding missed opportunities that your competitors are not going after. Once we figure that out, we have to create the ads. Now that's putting your website name at the top. We have to add headlines, which we can add about 10 to 15 headlines. We can add clear call to actions within the ads as well. So just to make them eye-catchy so that they're showing up. But we also have to include keywords within the headlines and the text so that the ads essentially show up. Next is we need to optimize the landing pages. So how do you do that? You have to add the relevant content within the landing pages. For example, if you're having an ad about estate planning lawyers in San Francisco, you should talk about San Francisco. You should talk about the estate planning within that page. We need a clear call to action. For example, call law firm, or a form for the end user to fill out. We need to have testimonials, trust signals like testimonials, case studies, number of Google reviews that shows trust. And then we need to make the website fast, right? Mobile friendly and fast loading, which is what we call technical optimization. All of that together will get your website properly structured so that you don't just bring leads and traffic to your site. You need to convert them into capturing their information, essentially. There are some advanced techniques that you can do, like display advertising, which is Google has a network of websites that are showing ads. You can have your ads show in those websites. You can do remarketing, which is if somebody visited your website from social media or direct traffic, we can retarget those visitors through Google Ads. We can also do local service ads, which is you're paying per lead to show up in Google. It's another type of advertising that Google has launched. And we can do A/B testing, which is we can test different ads against each other to see which one performs better. So these are all advanced techniques. We usually do them more later in the stages, not early on. So managing your PPC budget is really important. You first have to set a realistic budget based on the practice area and locations that you're in. Then you have to ensure that you're in the right targeted locations and geography. Then we have to allocate the budget to the best performer. So once we start collecting some data, we set up the strategies with a realistic budget, the specific cities and the specific keywords we're going after. We collect some data. For about 30 days, we're collecting data and understanding, are we generating leads? And then we move around the budget to the best performers and stop the low performers, right? So that we can improve the cost per lead over time. And through that entire process, we're monitoring and adjusting. We track KPIs, we track key performance indicators, essentially the cost per lead, and also is it generating you qualified leads, right? We can bring you leads, but you need to understand how to qualify those leads and close those leads into revenue. So what are the common mistakes that many folks make? Keyword targeting errors. This is important, right? Sometimes Google is trying to find variations of those keywords to show your firm at the top. And you get a huge list of keywords that you can see in Google Ads. And you need to go through and essentially ignore specific keywords because one, they're spending your budget. Maybe you're getting a lot of clicks to that keyword, but no leads. So you have to ignore those so that you can open up that budget for more important keywords. You might be doing too broad of targeting, like you are going after everything related to estate planning in your city. That's probably not a good idea. You should be more targeted. The other is landing page issues. Your page is loading too slow because you don't have proper hosting. Your mobile users are majority of the users, desktop, and your page doesn't look good on mobile on their iPhones or Android phones, and so you're getting people bouncing back to Google or going to their competitor. And you're not actively monitoring your campaigns, right? You need to actively monitor, at least on a weekly basis, make adjustments. So we do it on a 2-week basis, but every single day we're actively monitoring to make sure that things are going well. So you have to be on top of it. So that's why we recommend hiring an SEO agent or a PPC agency, because they're going to make sure that things are working the way they should be. So why you should hire a PPC expert, or if you want a DIY, what are the pros and cons, right? So DIY, you get cost savings. Of course, you don't have to pay that agency for anything. You get full control as well. Whenever you want to make changes, you can. Cons, it's time consuming. As I said, you have to be on top of it. You have to track your leads. You have to understand if the leads are coming in on a daily basis and make sure that nothing is broken. And it requires expertise. It's not set and forget. It takes a long time to become an expert in PPC advertising. And so when you DIY it, you're essentially assuming that you can be that expert. Now, if you have a PPC expert on your team, an agency, they have specialized knowledge. They've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing it for 10, 12 years now. It saves you time as a law firm because you don't have to worry about it. But the cons are, of course, there's additional cost. There's a recurring fee that you have to pay your agency. So bottom line, the PPC, it's a powerful tool for law firms. You can get clients instantaneously. You need to put a consideration on your budget, your time that you want to allocate if you want to DIY, your expertise to actually figure it out while operating your law firm, which can be extremely difficult. And what are your goals? Is it to bring in leads today, bring in the most profitable leads with a certain budget? Do you have more budget to increase over time, etc.? So at LaGrandeMarketing, we will do a free PPC strategy for you and an audit if you're already doing PPC to find easy win opportunities. And whether you hire us or not, you can utilize those PPC strategies for free, no problem, no obligation. We just want the opportunity to speak to you. So all together, brand marketing is a full suite digital marketing service. We do everything from PPC, SEO, social media, video marketing, newsletters, all inclusive in a plan, one set and forget plan. We meet with you weekly to make sure we are doing our part, and we also need more information from you. We're always your accountability coach essentially through this marketing process. So thanks a lot for watching this video. Please check out LaGrandeMarketing.com.